Hello, I hope you are well. Today I'm going to start a project that's going to take some time. You'll see it's going to be a little long. I've sped up and cut the video for you, of course. So I've got this lizard mold with lots of little drawings inside. I'd have preferred it to be smooth to give me a little more freedom, but hey, it is what it is. But it's not a problem. I'm going to use UV resin, this one, and then several mica powders, like this one. I have several from Resin 8. It's an English company that unfortunately no longer exists. They had a very pretty color. I have also this from our friend Timo. So we are going to try to make something pretty. It's going to take a while, but it's been on my mind for a while. So now here we go. I'm going to put some UV resin in these little plastic cups. I don't know why I took these. I've got some little silicone cups that work better because I don't really like using these plastic cups. But anyway, here they are. I wanted to get them out, I guess. I'm going to put some resin in them. I've taken out 8, I think, yes, 8 to make 8 different colors. And I'm going to put the resin in. And I'm going to tint, of course. I'll also take my little brushes. This is super practical. It doesn't cost much and very useful. You'll see I'll be using them for most of the video. I'm putting my cup aside because I have my UV lamp nearby and I don't want that lamp to dry my resin right away in the cups before I have had a chance to use it. I know me. I'm going to put a little resin, very little indeed. I put 2 or 3 big drops. Sometimes I add a little more, but as a general rule, I put 2 or 3 big drops per cup. I fill them right away. As UV resin doesn't dry out, it's practical to begin before. I mix with my little brush in my cups. I don't think there's enough here, so I add a little more resin and a little more powder. And then, well, comes the fun part. Filling the tiny cavities in this mold. So I could have dropped the drop of resin, but no, I had to work hard with my little brush to fill the cavities. I hope you can see. I got as close as I could for this video. I zoomed here too, so you can see, I hope. But in fact, the drawings are really quite small. It's not deep at all, so it's going to take me a while. But as I said, don't worry, I'll speed up the video. I'm going to give you a couple of examples, I think, and I'm going to speed up the video and cut out a lot of parts. Then I took a pointy little silicone tool here to spread out all the cavities. Maybe I could have used a pipette, but I'm very clumsy with pipettes. So I didn't dare use it. And then I'm going to readjust so that it's quite full but doesn't spill over the sides. So with my little pointed tool, as you will see later in the video, I also use a cotton bud and then I use a little toothpick. Well, that's all I have at my disposal. I also use my finger to wipe up any spills. So I'll start with the red, and you'll see that I'm going to dry each part as I go along, because UV resin, like any resin, tends to have a life of its own and eventually spread where you don't want it. With the little toothpick, I readjust so that it's going well everywhere without rubbing on the mold, because I don't want to damage it. And then I add a little more if I need it, and then I dab it on my little brush, and that's it. You see, I'm readjusting again. I've given you a really full-length example to show you that it's really precision work, if you want precision, to get a clean result, or as clean as possible at least. I put my little nerves to the test. And then I put it to dry, and once it's dry, well, I'm going to start on the other little cavities with different colors. I'll give you a quick run through. Okay, that's it. Even my battery went dead, sorry. She was tired of it. It took me a good hour, I think, but look at the result. Isn't it pretty? Well, I like it. Tell me what you think, but I like it. I find it's very therapeutic to do this, because you are not thinking about anything. You're concentrating on what you are doing. What I hope is that I haven't forgotten any cavities, because I can't necessarily see very well. I should have put a dark background underneath. And now, well, I'm going to choose a chameleon powder to cover everything before pouring my epoxy resin. So, of course, I choose blue, because I love blue. I check that everything is completely dry. I dried not only the top, but also the bottom. Then it's off to sweep on the chameleon powder. It feels good not to have to think this and that, to be a bit more relaxed. Now that's easy. Yes, I like this part. I run my little soft brush all over the place, and it's true, it's very pleasant. That was the relaxation part, I think, even if before, as I was telling you, it's all the same. You're not thinking about anything, you're concentrating on your thing, but it's nice. And then for the pose, I'm going to use a color teal to make a little difference. It's the same thing. Be careful there too. These little cavities are very thin and even a little twisted in places. So you really have to go everywhere. And hop! No fear! I turn it over to remove the excess powder so it doesn't float too much either. Well, there's always going to be some, but I hope not too much. But in any case, it's pretty as it is. I'm zooming here, but it's nice. But it doesn't give you idea of what it will look at the end. I've prepared my resin. You can see that I've made little hearts here too. I'll tell you about it right away. This resin is great because you leave it for 10 minutes and all the bubbles practically disappear straight away or rise on the surface. My little hearts, I had some UV resin left over in my little cups, so I made little dots all over the place. The other are old ones. I often use this heart mold to pour my leftover resin. I'm sure I'll find a use for them. I prepared my resin with black, and now I pour. Yes, you have to be careful here to get it everywhere. It's a bit tight in places. I'd like to avoid spillage if I can. The tail isn't easy either. Whoops! And I'm shaking. A big pack of resin. That's what I didn't want. Well, it's done. I'm going to use my little magic micro brush to try to remove the excess. I simply roll it aside. And then you have to get into the lizard's little clouds, which tend not to do that, so with the little brush it's much easier. And then I'm going to fill it, fill in until the mold is full, of course. That makes sense. I'm also going to check, and you'll see that took me a bit of time too, because I'm going to pay close attention to the legs, the feet. I'm going to see, because yes, the head too had a tendency, I don't know why, to push the resin away. I don't know why. I'm going to pay attention to the bubbles, because frankly, after all that work, I don't want to have bubbles ruining everything. So I'm going to be very vigilant. And then I pour the rest into my little hearts. Of course, I've made too much. That makes sense. I'm still working on my little lizard. I have found another mold to finish using my black resin. It's a fondant mold. It's something, I don't know what you can do with fondant, of course, but what shape. It's full of tiny cavities. It's like, crystal molds, but it's worse. It's full of tiny little holes. I feel I'm going to have bubbles. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I've got to finish my resin. And I have some left, so I've got this mold I made for a previous creation, but which you will see a bit later. It's Jesmonite and resin. So I've just enough to cover the bottom. And now let it dry. And there it is. I can't wait to take a look. Let's start with the little hearts. I got a little carried away moving it to the drying area. Oh, it's cute. I love these little dots. That's so pretty and stand out so well. I'm happy with that. It doesn't take much to satisfy me. This one, the same. I really like the colors. Purple, blue, gold, bronze. The others stay in their molds for now until I figure out what I'm going to do with them. Come on with my little fondant mold. What it's going to be? Oh, it's funny. It looks a bit like lava solidified Black lava. I like that. I guess it could fit on a geode or something like that. Yes, it's nice. I like this little lava. So the mold is matte. Obviously, it comes out matte, but it doesn't bother me at all. It's still a little soft, but that's fine. Oh yeah, that's nice. That little things. I like it. Okay, that's done. And now my little ugly mold. So there you have it. Jasmonite, resin, black resin. No point in dwelling on it. It's ugly. And now my lizard. I can't wait. I'll have to take it slowly, especially on its paws and fingers, because I don't want to break anything. That would be a shame after all the effort I've put in. So it's a bit tricky to remove, but slowly, slowly. And the tail too, because it's thin at the end. In any case, one thing's for sure. It's better not to wait until the resin is completely hardened. The resin I used is dry. Let's say it can be demolded after 12 hours, but it's still very flexible and very soft, and I can tell you that for molds like this, well, it's just what you need. I waited a little longer than 12 hours, but frankly, it's still very flexible. Oh, look at that. Oh, I like it. I like it. I like it. I'm so happy. Oh, yes. I think it's super pretty. At least for me. I like the colors. Tell me what you think, please. Oh, oui. Tell me. I don't know if I'm going to put a little gold pen on her eyes, but we'll see later. I like it. I like it a lot. So I've got a few things that need to be rectified, but not many things, but in delicate places between the fingers in particular, and just at the tip of the tail. But it's so pretty. I love it. Oh, yes. Here are photos in daylight, in the sun. But look at this. Isn't super pretty? I'm so happy. Oh, yes. I'm very happy with the result. Ah. And now a closer look. It's nice. Yes, really nice. I realized I had forgotten one or two little cavities, but frankly it doesn't ruin the whole thing. It's so pretty. A lot of works, that's for sure, but then it's worth it. My little hearts, they're not bad. I like. So what else? The second little heart. The colors are nice too. Yes, like them. I'm so happy. Sorry, but I'm very happy with the result. For once, I'm happy with myself. I didn't miss a thing. My little pieces of lava. Well, it's nothing extraordinary, but it's nice. Don't forget the little thumbs up. We'll back very soon for new adventures. Take care of yourself, and now, bye.